Greetings, the Astro 30 here yet again, and welcome back to AL. Thank you for joining me. Now today, sitting on the desk, I've got this old realistic MPA-25 20 watt public addressed amplifier. It's got 3 mixing channels. It's got 2 microphones plus a phono or an aux. It's got a tone control here, which is probably only attenuating the highs, and a master volume control plus the customary power switch. Over there are the 2 microphone inputs. They've labelled them basically upside down, 1 on the bottom, 2 on the top, instead of the other way around. Not sure why. A look at the back here. We've got the 240 volts coming in here, but we've also got a DC 12 volt with negative ground on a DIN connector there, so you can connect it up to, say, a car battery, I guess. Selectable outputs with 1 common point here for a 4 or an 8 or a 16 ohm, plus a 70 volt line, and a spare fuse, 1 amp 250 volt AC. That's not sus at all. Next to the spare fuse, we've got switchable auxiliary or phono input, which is either on one of these 2 little RCA jacks here. And down here at the bottom is the ground connection for the record player. So we're not going to plug it in, we're going to do the right thing. We're going to take the lid off and we're going to have a look inside first to see what makes this thing tick. And by the way, I paid $20 from the South Hobart tip shop, and it says at the top, works at the time of testing. Okay. Just pull this off. Oh, very nice. So it's a fairly clean design here. It looks like they're using an IC as the output amplifier. I'll try and get the camera in there a little bit in a minute. That's our output transformer there, which gives us our different impedance outputs plus the 70 volt line. Bit of dust in here. There's the power transformer. Power switch is over here, and that goes, there's a little bridge rectifier down in here, and it's pretty much, well, apart from the other circuit boards here, it's a single circuit board design, but there's not much to it. There's another large transformer here, which I assume is an input transformer of some description, but as to how the phono amplifier works, I don't know if it even has one. There's the main PCB. Caps look like they're in good condition. I can't see any bulging caps or anything. It's using an LA440 amplifier IC, which is this black thing here which you can't see the label of, but I can. And a bunch of, well, a single transistor here. And I don't see any other transistors anywhere else, so, oh, there's another one, so there's 2 transistors there. So that might be being used as a mic preamp of some description. I'll see if I can find the schematic for this. I don't hold much hope of actually finding one, but I'll see if I can find one, and we can have a look at quite a bit of dust inside here too. Have a look at how the thing works, if I can find one. Okay, so I've just looked up the LA440, and it's a 6 watt 2 channel stereo, or bridged at 19 watts, typical. Power amplifier IC, so it's a stereo amplifier, and it's made by Sanyo. So this would be obviously an obsolete part at the time of this recording. It doesn't actually say on the data sheet that it is obsolete, but this is looking at one of the application circuits of the IC, and this is the bridge version, and this is pretty much what the realistic will be doing. They'll be following basically what's here in the data sheet. So there's not really much more interesting to look at there, but we know what it is now. So apart from some cleaning needed, like dusting, it's fairly clean inside, to be honest. It has had use. I'm not sure what year this was manufactured, but it was most likely around the 80s or 90s, somewhere around there. So I guess the next thing to do is to see if I can find a schematic for this. I'll be really surprised if I can. and then we should plug it in and see if it actually works. They say it does. Plot twist, there doesn't look like there is. So that's going to be a little bit of an annoyance. I would have loved to have seen how all this preamplifier circuitry down here worked. I mean, I could sit here and reverse engineer it, but I don't really see the point in taking the time and effort to do so. Although it might be an interesting endeavour to do that, but I'm not really sure what the purpose of this transformer is, or like what its winding ratio is, you know, things like that. What is that going to anyway? It's hard to tell with the PCB still in the unit. Although looking at it from where the negative and the positive wires from the bridge rectifier, well at least the negative side of the bridge rectifier anyway, it goes through this orange thing through the switch. And okay, so the orange wires are the positive. It looks like this might be some form of choke on the secondary of the transformer. That might be what's going on here. And we've got a Jamicon filter capacitor here at 4700 microfarads at 25 volts. Alright, so I guess we should plug it in and see if it works. I'll hook it into the dim bulb and we'll see, you know, if it blows up or it works. Well, it didn't blow up at the tip shop. Just one other thing before I plug it in, I've just noticed how they've wired this DC connection here. The chassis is negative, so they've grounded the negative. So ground is negative of the power supply, so this is a single-ended supply. It's not bipolar. They've got the orange wire coming off of the DIN socket going into a portion of the power switch at the front here. It also switches the ACs, both the neutral and the active, but there's a secondary switch here which is switching basically this DC only. The orange wire that comes off of the bridge rectifier back here comes directly into this point on the circuit board near the choke, which I'm assuming is a choke. Then there's another wire coming off that back through this cable tie back to the other side of this switch. So this is kind of nasty. If this was plugged into the wall and you turned it on and you also had a DC source connected to it, well, you're going to be sending DC from the bridge rectifier through the switch back out to whatever's connected to it. So if you connect a battery to this, well, you can inadvertently be trying to charge it, and because there's no like limiting resistor here for current, you could destroy the battery. So that is probably a point worth noting, that you cannot have a battery source and the main source connected at the same time. That would not be a good idea. Okay, so I got it hooked up to the dim bulb. Not that I see there's going to be an issue here, because it did say on the sticker that it was working at the time of testing, but that's not very descriptive of what it means by it's working. Like, did they just turn it on to see if it powered up, or did they actually get a sound out of it? Whatever. So I'll turn the dim bulb on, and I forgot the power switch was turned on, but no glow, so that's good. The light is illuminated, so that's also good. Now, I did have one thought about this DC socket here. Now, it may be actually being used as an output rather than an input, because I can't really see the necessity to have this run off of a 12 volt battery, for instance. Why would you want to do that? What I think they're using it for is an output to power something else, like another realistic product such as a tape deck in the same form factor as this, or more likely the turntable, because it does have a phono input. That's a possibility. Anyway, that aside, I know that it actually powers up without going off with a bang or any magic smoke being released. So let me hook this up without the dim bulb to the scope and dummy load, and we'll pump in a signal somehow and see if we get an output. Alright, I've got it hooked up to the 8 ohm impedance output, and I've got the signal generator cobbled into the auxiliary input there. There's enough pin from the RCA socket sticking out on the back of that circuit board to make the connection, and the chassis is already ground, so the ground of my oscillator is connected to the chassis. So you can look at the scope as I turn the power on. There's no jump or anything there, so let's give the auxiliary input some gain and turn the master up. Oh, we do actually have a signal. It's not very powerful, but okay, let's put the auxiliary up full. That's with the master up full, and we're getting around about 9.17 volt RMS at the moment, but I haven't got the oscillator turned up very high. So, okay. It's not very stable when the amp clips. So by the looks of things, we're getting around about 10 volt RMS maximum output before it clips, which I guess is okay. So that gives us a massive 12.5 watts RMS. Wow. Okay, so I guess we should see what this tone control does to the signal. That's with it in the center, that's with it going towards counterclockwise, and that's maximum, so it looks like it is attenuating the highs. So let me just change the type of wave to a square. Okay, that's with the control fully clockwise. Wow, the frequency response to that is shit. That's 10 kilohertz, so yeah, it's affecting the upper frequency, so the highs. As I said originally in the beginning, that's what it's doing, is attenuating the highs. Okay. So we can see that it works. Seems to work alright. There's a bit of warmth getting into that heatsink now, but that's fine. I should probably see what sort of gain we get with the phono input. So I might move to the phono input and switch the switch over to phono. Okay. Well, that was unexpected. There's a lot less coming out of it. Alright. Let me change back to first a sine wave and also 1 kilohertz. Alright, so yeah, it's getting up in its voltage, but I haven't adjusted the oscillator's gain, so the same amount of gain is going in to the phono input as it was into the auxiliary input. So I'll switch back to the auxiliary input. It's roughly the same. So it might actually be designed for a ceramic cartridge, not a moving magnet or moving coil. So that in itself is fairly interesting. So I want to see if I can get one of the microphone inputs to output a sound. No, just lost my ground. It's got to be one of these connections here. Can't see anything. Okay, so I'm going to have to plug a plug into the socket. There we go. It's distorted as heck. And that's with the oscillator turned down. I think, if I drop that down a bit, I think I know what they're doing. Those two transistors on this side of the board here that we saw in the overhead, I reckon that's for the microphone preamp, which are on these two controls. So that's actually boosting from the microphone. This, the line auxiliary or phono input, just goes directly into the input of the power amplifier, I'm assuming. So that leads me to believe that those two transistors are a small microphone preamp. Yeah, there's some warmth in that. Well, at least we know it works, but it's not very great. So it works, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it to an actual speaker as the load, not the dummy load. And there's a test speaker on the floor. A little bit of a thump when you turn it on. Yeah, that seems to function. So let me plug that back to the auxiliary input. I think I'm on exit. Yeah. So there's a big difference in gain between the auxiliary and the mic input. Switch over to the phono. If I can get it on there. Yeah, the amount of level there is the same. I haven't touched the control. Yeah, so it must be for ceramic cartridges. Okay, well, it works. However, it wouldn't be proper to just test it like this. It'd be proper to actually pump in an input signal. So that's going to be my next thing, and then I'm just going to close this video out because there's not much more to explore with this thing. Okay, give it some volume, play a track. Well, it seems to work okay, but yeah, decent response to stack control up at maximum, which is kind of bad design, but whatever. So it is working and sounds clear enough to me. It's not distorted or anything. What do you expect from a single chip amplifier? So that's going to be it for this video. I'm happy that it is actually working, but what am I going to use this MPA-25 for? No idea. I will put it back together, but I might try and sell it as it is. Someone may want it, 40 bucks maybe. Anyway, I hope somebody found this video interesting and enjoyed it. I'm the Astro 30, and if you enjoyed this video, please remember to go down below, like, comment and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, this is the Astro 30 saying see ya, thanks for watching, have a great day.